Buenos noches.
I don't know. I took enough Spanish, but I don't know. That's good night, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, noches night. We're gonna have all sorts of cringy moments this episode, I think.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Buenos noches. I always remember the scene from Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Johnny Depp's character, he's like, I eat pork pibil. And he's like eating, and he goes to Danny Trejo's character. He's like, are you a Mexican or a Mexican? He's like, I'm a Mexican.
That's funny.
It's a funny movie. It shows off the, like, there's a whole bunch of different, I think that's the third movie in the series. It goes El Mariachi, which is like straight subtitled to English, to Desperado with Selma Hayek and Antonio Banderas, and then goes and bumps into Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Is Antonio Banderas the guy that does Puss in Boots? Man, I know my stuff.
Yep. Welcome to another episode, a Mexican episode. So grab your chips and salsa, your favorite quesadillas. We're not talking Tex-Mex now, even though we're sitting here. I got a Tex-Mex sitting in the podcast now. But yep, we are back in the home studio, not in the special Kaufman Logistics studio this time.
That's right.
Soon enough, we'll be there plenty of time. But we are here. My name is Jordan. I'm with Josh.
Howdy, everybody.
And why don't skeletons fight each other?
I don't know.
They don't have the guts.
That's a good one.
Thank you, ChatGPT.
That's a keeper there.
They had a whole bunch of them. I should have copied a whole bunch of them.
I like that one. And that plays nicely into some of the paint schemes. Actually, just one paint scheme.
Yeah.
Bushers.
It's got the skulls.
Some sugar skulls.
Yeah, there you go. Not skull candies.
A little, what do they call Easter eggs. So go out and look at his car. Yeah. Check it out. Pretty cool. Couple hidden throughout his paint scheme. So.
And if you like tequila, go check out Allguyer's. He's got the agave plants all over it.
That was a cool one. And if you're American, go for Josh Williams.
Yeah, go for Josh Williams.
The bald eagle on top of American flag.
That is the most ironic, and
that had to have been on purpose.
Had to be.
Well, we're going to Mexico. All right, let's load our car up with America.
Yeah. They were talking about the travel there. I mean, as you drive those rigs.
Yeah.
They drove from...
They got there today, which is late.
Yeah.
Because they were coming from Michigan to there, so they're going the whole way north to south.
Right. But so they had the swap overs, had another truck bring the vehicles for Mexico, swapped it over. They had to get to the border. I think they crossed over in Laredo like 2 days ago.
Okay.
They had to sit for like 24 hours at customs.
Oh, why?
I don't.
Because of all the toolboxes and
probably.
All the...
They said it was like a day or so they had to sit.
I believe it because they want to search vehicles, and it's not normal for car haulers, especially race team haulers, to travel between the border. Usually, like tankers, you got single cavity or van trailer. They can X-ray stuff, but with all the tools and all the stuff that they would have to take down, I'm sure it was hey, we're gonna have an officer just getting you guys through the line, and however long that takes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
Somebody asked if they were gonna fly the cars. I'm like, that's so much money.
Yeah,
and then
just Hendrick.
Just Hendrick.
I mean, Amazon or Apple brought how many phones over there when they thought the tariffs were somehow they were getting through tariff, so they flew like I forget what it said, how many like billion pounds of phones over, and then like 3 days later, Trump goes, "Oh yeah, electronics are exempt from that tariff." It was like all for nothing.
Right.
But
somebody needs to tell DJI that because they're hurting on tariffs with their cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
Drones. But it was wild to hear that. And then the questions. And I get some of the questions because like Formula One will sit there and they actually container ship over their stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay, but they're going all over the world. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, we had Michigan. Michigan usually is a dull track. I mean, it kind of sort of was for
Fastest track in NASCAR.
Busher, or not Busher, Briscoe had the fastest record.
Yeah. I told you before the season started he was going to be fast.
Yeah, but it's not translating on to Sunday.
It's not. But he's got speed. He's young.
Yeah, well, when you're
he's not going to be like an all-star like race winner, but he's got potential to be up there.
Well, when your crew chief's all he's doing is making,
he's doing really good considering
changes.
These things.
Yes,
he's doing really good.
Yeah, just imagine if he had like a real crew chief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your take on the trucks? You're Mr. Truck on our podcast.
Yeah, I liked it. I watched especially closely because LaJoie was racing.
Right.
It's fun hearing him, even on the broadcast. He talked a little bit about how much the trucks are different, but they're still like a lot of fun. Like they move a lot. He talked about the runs were, what do you say? The runs were easier to get, but if you missed them, they had less of an impact. Like, or they were harder to make happen, but if you missed it, it didn't affect you. Like in Cup, if you miss a run, you're losing 6 to 10 spots.
Right.
Whereas he said in trucks, he's like, I don't know if he put a spot number on it, but I kind of assumed that like you might lose a position or two.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a 6 position whoopsie. So it was less competitive from that standpoint. Like you can, and he said you can see why, some of these guys come down into trucks and why they can do well or why it seems like they struggle, because it's just different. It's a different style race, like the way the trucks handle and stuff. But it was funny hearing them talk about, I don't know if they do it in Cup or not, but they literally do burnouts like as they're getting ready for restarts. I don't know if the trucks are that much lighter in the back end. Like, you kind of scrub your tires and get them fresh. But he's like, yeah, you launch like a couple burnouts like before they just launch them just to get them cleaned off, because he said they're so light in the back end. He said you'll just spin them if you don't.
Interesting.
So it's kind of, I don't know if the Cup guys really spin in a straight line. I think they more just clean them off left to right.
They'll go straight. They'll gun it going. Like I remember Truex used to do that a couple times.
But I feel like maybe their traction's a lot better because the cars are set up for launch, like aerodynamic wise and everything. But I don't know. I never looked. Are the trucks a different weight than what Cup are? Are they lighter? I'm assuming they would be.
I don't know.
I think 3400 was always newest Cup car weight. I do love trucks. I really enjoyed watching the LaJoie race. It was cool to see. He actually led for a little stint there. Did you see the crash that he wiggled through?
A little bit of it.
If anybody watching hasn't seen it, watch LaJoie wiggle through that crash. It was like from Pixar Cars. It was just like wiggling and hopping and stuff sliding around all over front of him, back of him, and he manages to pull out and get through. But I forget, he might have made a Days of Thunder comment. Made it, Harry.
Yeah, we
did you find a weight for the trucks?
I'm looking for the trucks right now. I found the car.
Were they 3400?
Yeah, Gen 7 is 3,200 minimum without driver and fuel, 3,400 minimum with driver and fuel. So it just picked up. Why did it do it that way? Let's go Google that.
And as always, as long as people I like beat Hocevar, it's a good day.
Yeah, well, I was so frustrated because LaJoie, and you probably shared this too, LaJoie was leading, and they were about to hit white, and they wrecked.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
Yeah.
But it was very, I know some people were like Hocevar, but it was very entertaining and satisfying to see him get his penalty that he got.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was starting and then dropping down like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So, they said it's on here, and I think it is 34 too. I think it's the same weight. Where was that? Specifically in the Craftsman Truck Series, has a minimum weight requirement. Trucks must weigh at least 3,400 pounds with driver on board.
Okay, so it's same weight.
Yeah.
So they're essentially the same weight car, but I guess
Weight
it's
distribution
probably more front biased, just because there's nothing back there.
Right.
Like
You got a fuel cell. And
chassis,
that's about it.
a deck cover, and some panels.
Yeah.
So
I think the fuel cell's back there though too.
it could be. Yeah, it could be.
So
It almost have to be because there's no room for it anywhere else.
it's not like my beater car where it's sitting underneath your passenger driver seat.
Oh yeah. Hey, my Willys, it literally sits under the driver's seat. It's
Really?
between the floor pan and the driver's seat.
Oh man.
The fill comes through right beside the seat on the outside. It's only 10 gallons, but yeah, you literally sit on the tank. Like the brackets are made on top of the tank.
Nice.
So, but yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it. It was a ton of movement when they showed like the back stretch.
Yeah.
Those trucks were all over the place.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
trying to get up to they get to I don't know, 180s, maybe close to 190. I don't think they go much faster than that. But,
Yeah.
I forget what the speed is there for them. I know they're a little bit slower than Cup, but
Mhm.
they were all over the place, just floating down the track. So, yeah, it was fun. That was the only full race I actually watched.
Yeah. Well, the winner, Stuart Friesen, barely beat out Grant Enfinger.
Yeah.
0.11 seconds.
I know a lot of people were happy that he got a win. He's
Yeah.
been kind of...
Well, he's also Canadian, too.
Oh, is he?
So to win
It helped.
close to Canada. Yeah, exactly.
International Speedway.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. A lot of people were really happy for him because he's kind of been
Yeah,
a
he
little
had
bit bummed about his racing performance. And,
He was going to call it quits.
Yeah.
They were talking about that on the broadcast. He was going to call it quits, and then I don't know what sparked him into staying, but he ended up staying. So
that's good for him.
yeah, Friesen, Enfinger, Finhouse, Rhodes, and LaJoy fifth. I think his tires were just wearing out towards the end for LaJoy.
Yeah. He did awesome considering I don't know his full career to know how much truck ARCA and
This is
Xfinity.
his sixth truck race.
Okay. So he didn't spend much time.
He ran ARCA. He ran ARCA, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Because he went different routes,
Yeah.
Because he was in that class with Larson,
Yeah.
Elliott, and all those guys.
Yeah.
They kept moving up. He ended up going and working with his dad,
Gotcha.
and so because he was whooping them in ARCA,
Yeah.
and then they didn't. I don't know.
Super shoe.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't keep going on. I think he's bound to have run quite a few Xfinity. I don't know how many though.
Yeah. It was fun. It was enjoyable to watch. It's kind of, for me, it's action packed and a short. I like long races. I was looking forward to Coke 600 and stuff.
Right.
I like to know that it's going to be on for a little while, but at the same note, it's kind of enjoyable having a little action packed race. It's only
It's so short though.
2 hour.
Well, see,
You know what I mean? It's not a big race.
yeah, but I want a little bit longer. 20
Yeah.
laps on a stage is silly.
Yeah, it could be longer. I wouldn't complain about a little bit longer, but from a viewability standpoint, to work in the schedule, it's nice
Right.
being able to watch a whole race
Mhm.
in the same amount of time that you could watch a normal other sporting event.
Right.
Because Cook 600, I think their broadcast was 6 hours long.
Yeah. I
It's
think the race itself
that's-
is 4.5.
That's a long time.
So LaJoy he's run 275 races in Cup Series. He's ran 22 races in Xfinity over 4 years. Best finish was 31st. And then 6 races over 4 years for trucks. His best finish before 5th was 48th in 2014. That was his first race.
I'll be curious to see what he does the rest of the season.
They say 48th. I don't know. I don't understand that because they said he got 2 top 10s. It's silly. And
That's a little fuzzy.
then ARCA, this is all Wikipedia. ARCA says he ran 7 races over 3 years. 3 wins, 4 top 10s, 1 pole. First win he won at Chicagoland. But, man, so many people want thinking Chicagoland to come back. I'm good without it.
Really not too familiar with that track.
It seemed kind of dull and boring. But it's what are you going to take out of the out to put Chicagoland back. Take out the street race. Okay. Stop taking races away from other tracks.
Yeah.
Especially when it's this Gen 7 car that's the one making it crappy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Xfinity didn't race. As you guys heard, we had 3 straight poles now for the 19.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize that. I haven't been keeping quite up to Cup as much, but when they said that, I was like, oh wow, that is right, I guess. I mean, that's crazy to do. I don't know how many.
He's setting records. Well, he's setting speed records too.
Yeah, but like, is there a consecutive Cup or like pole record that someone has?
I don't know.
It's pretty challenging to do, especially the variety of tracks.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah. It just snuck up on me when I heard that. I was like, oh wow, that's surprising. But then again, it doesn't doesn't translate. So
yeah, well, this is pole winners. I want consecutive record for most consecutive poles. This is a Reddit post. Has anyone won more than 4 races in a row? Who cares about that? You asked for poles and wins. Gordon has 4 straight poles in 2004. I think they said Newman had 4 in 2004. Elliott had 6 in a row in 85. Pocono, Michigan. Daytona, Pocono again. Dega, Michigan.
Wow.
So last year we had 3 in a row, but no one has done 4 since Jimmy Johnson in 2007. This thing's saying, but then, yeah.
Interesting. So it sounds like 6 pretty much that's a lot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 or 4 is kind of contender for
he ain't getting
average record beater.
He ain't getting it this week.
No. Sorry about your luck.
Yep. The Dunny won the race. If you don't know what a Dunny is, go watch Bluey. That's what we call Denny Hamlin.
He beat all the drivers.
Yep. Sorry, Dad. 3rd Cup victory of the season, 57th of the win. He beat Buescher with a 1.099. Buescher started off so strong, and then he comes back and he would start off strong, fall out, start off strong again. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like our picks were totally off. You had a better, like both of our picks. So Buescher and Larson and all that, they were up there, giving false hope, and then they just totally fell out of it towards the end.
Right.
Fuel, I hate the fuel mileage races.
Yeah. I mean, it was like inevitable with the stage setup and the layout. Like it had to happen.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Denny, Buescher, Gibbs, Wallace, and Larson. 24 was up there running. He was running real strong. Byron led, where they say 98 out of 200, but he ran out of fuel. I don't think he could have kept it anyway. And then Hocevar was up there, and then he had a tire issue. That was an issue I saw quite a few of them, is that the tire issues were sitting there where they were trying to run that low pressure and then blowing the tires.
Right. Left rears or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 lead changes among 11 drivers, 7 cautions for 33 laps. Ended up being that.
Carson Hocevar, 28th.
29th. Yeah.
Love to see it. People are starting to become fans of him. I think they're sellouts.
Who knows? I mean, I thought it was interesting, speaking of that team, Junior called out Justin Haley this past, I don't know when it was, but he Junior was talking positive about Haley, you know, how well he was doing over at Rick Ware, and then the trade over to Spire. Just been sucking it up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I don't know what you really want to do about that. They're Haley in Spire. I think Spire's kind of getting in over their head, trying to too big for their britches type thing, because they're getting rid of people that are getting them there.
I think my guess, just a guess, is they got culture problems.
Could be.
They don't have people that have been there long enough to build a really good.
Well,
I don't know.
You kick out the people that were there for a while, though, too.
Give LaJoy 2 more years there. They were finally getting somewhere.
Well,
They were finally getting.
and then you bring Rodney Childress,
And then he leaves.
yeah. That's
That
a
was
question
fishy.
mark. Yes.
I don't know. I think they're trying to do something, but it's not my business. But I feel like they're not doing the right stuff.
Right.
And obviously, like, Haley's not having great success. Like,
No, I don't think he was that great to begin with.
no. He's had a lot of, I don't know. I'm thinking of, Cody Ware. He's had a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
I always think Haley and Ware for some reason, because they're both like kind of tied in with LaJoy.
Right.
It's like they make like a triangle of information for me in my head, and I always think, but
yeah,
he's had a lot of, sliding into fences, and
right.
it's just like, man, they're fixing that car every week.
Well, I think Haley's only win really came from rain, right? Ooh, that was close.
Could be.
I could be wrong on that, but I thought it was. Who knows? I mean,
I do like the broadcast. I'm enjoying Amazon's broadcast.
yeah.
I haven't watched a ton of it, but the pre-race is good. I want to see this. I haven't really watched a full post-race yet. Everyone's saying how it's like, it was
beer.
back in the day.
They're bringing beer out.
I guess that was Corey's idea.
"Quote unquote" beer. We can't confirm or deny it because they're bringing it out in red Solo cups.
Yeah, I feel like that was a branding thing they had to
maybe
avoid.
Probably. Well, speaking of branding, before we get into, I know where you're going with this. But before we get into that, can you name the top 5 most winningest sponsors?
Probably. Trying to think who's won. I feel like Kyle Busch's M&M's car. Really?
This is history.
Yeah.
Because we got caught up on one. I won't name it until you get through it. We got caught up on one.
I don't know. Did Earnhardt have a lot of wins? Did this Goodrich car?
That's not one. That's not top 5.
There's a lot of like famous cars that's
like
aren't
8 or so.
You know what I mean? In there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like longtime sponsors. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think Valvoline, Mark Martin.
Think your wife's boyfriend.
All right. So what did he used to ride? He used to be Lowe's.
That's number 1.
Because he had cheated so much. He had so many wins.
Yep.
Sorry, Jenny.
Number 1. It's true.
The Lowe's is number 1.
Lowe's is number 1.
7 championships, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, wow.
Thanks so much.
So Lowe's is 1. That seems so recent, but I kind of can't even think. I mean,
stay in that same camp.
all right,
same era.
The Home Depot.
That wasn't same camp. Well,
That's close.
I'm talking teammates, not same.
Yeah, didn't Stewart run Home Depot? Or
Yes,
am I getting
Tony
confused?
Stewart. 20? No, Tony Stewart ran. Tony and Joey ran, but
was
that's
that a 20?
Yes, but that's not
Okay, same camp, but not hardware store
teammates.
Camp. Yeah. So you'd have to go Jeff Gordon with DuPont.
Yep, that's number 2.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other like popular cars. I want to say Interstate, but it's not gonna be they're not race winners enough. All right. So I'm wiggling my way through here.
Mm-hmm.
Who else will we get?
Let's see if I can pull this up so I can. I know
You got the master list somewhere?
I got the master list. All right, so Lowe's has 85.
Okay.
DuPont 84.
Oh wow.
And then one's really.
Is there a big gap to number 3?
78.
Okay.
Number 3.
So a couple, not a lot.
So you were talking. STP had 60.
Okay.
That's the one that was getting us up. So
That'd be
I helped
Baby
you
Blue,
there.
right? STP.
Yeah, that would be Petty. Good Wrench is who you named 54.
Okay.
You also named M&M's 34, Interstate 32, which is that's a good guess because of Interstate bouncing all around with JGR.
Well, it was just lucky. I'll just be honest.
Let's see, Home Depot.
Home Depot.
There we go. 35. That's 15th.
Okay.
Valvoline's,
I got a bunch of 30s.
Yeah, Valvoline's 14 on the list. 36.
Okay. He wasn't a big winner. He was just a popular guy.
Yeah.
How far does that list go?
Down to 42. 14 wins. And then there's also a couple people. UAW also has 14.
Huh.
Kodak's 14. So let's go back up. You have number 1, number 2. You need 3, 4, and 5. And
can you tell me what number they are, or is it not give you that? That might help me. Or is it gonna be too obvious?
The one I'm thinking, yes, the two that 3 that I could give you are very obvious.
Yeah, and
that's what you need.
I'm trying to think who are we missing on this list.
I'll give you.
Kyle Busch has a ton of wins. He's got to be in there somewhere.
M&M's is 34.
Yeah, and that's his best because he doesn't stick with a sponsor that hard like some of the other guys did.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm trying to think of like race winners, and then what did they drive? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I can give you one. It's going to give it away. I'll give you the car number. Let's see if you can.
Oh boy,
number 2.
Oh, the Miller Lite. Yeah,
it's number 3 at 70.
And do you think Kurt got most of those wins, or is there anybody else that would ran that would have gotten some wins?
Keselowski.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I mean, he is most all them wins probably.
Probably.
All right, so that's what, 3 or 4?
That was number 3.
Okay.
So you need number 4 and number 5.
Sweet, Keselowski.
Number 4 you're not going to get.
DeWalt, I don't know how well.
DeWalt is
probably in the 15s or 20s.
They're ranked number 33 and they have 19 wins.
Not bad guess.
I mean, this puts it out crazy because Tide, who ran a lot with Ricky Rudd, but also DW.
Okay.
20 wins.
Yeah. So like super popular car, but not a.
Yeah. Wrangler tied with somebody that ran another. Oh, come on. Another sponsor.
Yeah.
On this list. Wrangler got 26.
Okay. I wouldn't even thought of them as a sponsor.
They were big in the 80s.
Yeah.
And some in the 90s.
I was not alive in the 80s.
And they ran.
None of the 80s I was alive for.
I was alive for the last 4 years of the 80s.
Yeah, there you go.
3 years and 35 days, 36 days, something like that.
I like it. The math. It's here tonight.
Yeah, right.
So I didn't get 4 yet.
No, you didn't get number 4 yet. Number 4. Okay, so I'm trying to link you with number 5 right now. He ran Wrangler before.
Yeah, see, I can't think of anybody who ran Wrangler. Would that be like the traditional Wrangler logo, like the horse?
No.
Like the clothing company, Wrangler.
Clothing company, okay.
Yeah.
We're pulling back. He would have ran this in the 90s in Grand National. While you're thinking about that, Pennzoil was number 35. K&K Insurance. What in the world?
How many? I guess that Joey has probably most of those, right?
It got to be.
Maybe all of them.
Who else? See, if I give you this other one that's on the list,
yeah,
who is 27 wins, it'll give it away.
Yeah.
Even though these 27 wins didn't all come from this one driver.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else I could be. Bass Pro's on here at 17 wins. I bet you that's a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
It's your boy.
Yeah.
Mark Tan.
He's kind of tied with Bass Pro Shops. Kind of. In a weird way.
Huh. I'm not very educated, as you can tell.
If I give you a car number, you'll get number 4. If we skip back to number 4, if I give you a car number, you're going to get number 4. I got to see if I can give you, it'll give it away. I'll go ahead and do it because you'll get it. 21.
21. I'm trying to think. So this would have been one of the older guys, like 80s and 90s 21, right? Or is it current guy?
It's a currently run sponsor. On the 21.
Was Wood Brothers always had it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I don't know what their traditional sponsor is. It Motorcraft?
Close.
Because they have that now.
Close.
We already said Valvoline.
Who does Motorcraft?
So Ford, do they bracket it Ford Motorcraft?
Ford.
Okay, is it like a combo sponsor?
It just shows Ford.
Okay.
73.
Huh. I don't know if I
wins.
can picture. So they call, like, even today, Josh Berry's car, would it be Ford Motorcraft?
Mm-hmm.
What they call that? Okay.
Yeah, Ford Motorcraft.
Are they the only manufacturer that sponsors a car?
No. Dodge sponsored Casey Kane.
The only Intrepid. Number 9.
Yeah. Sponsored. Oh, shoot.
What did he have? Did he have a beer sponsor?
Yes.
Or was it just the Dodge?
You're thinking. Use that. That's one of that. There you go.
Right,
Casey Kane is linked
sponsor.
with number 5.
I'm trying to think. His car was always red.
There's
that was
somebody
probably
else.
his Dodge sponsorship.
There's somebody else linked with this beer sponsor, but you picked it up, and I just kind of gave it away there. Yeah.
Trying to think what other ones we haven't hit yet. Well, the Bud 8, but he didn't win a lot. Did he win that much?
64 wins on the Budweiser.
And was that all Dale Jr.?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was like, I don't think he. See, I was getting myself tripped up because I'm thinking I was thinking he was the main guy that ran that.
Yeah.
And it's Bud as a sponsor, so it necessarily wasn't the Bud 8 that's so trademarked. Was it a different number, Bud?
That's when I'm gonna.
Because I know his, I just recently heard about his trademarking stuff.
The 8.
Yeah.
With Lamar Jackson. That was actually the 8. That's the Junior Motorsports 8.
Okay.
The one you're talking about is he finally took over because Teresa didn't
pay it up or something like that, or it became, I forget.
Didn't renew it.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't renew because I guess there's what's it, Mickey Mouse or something like that it's like 100 years old, so you can't own it or something like that.
Yeah, there's something
like the Steamboat Willie or something like that. So now it's like public and you can't domain it because it's 100 years old or something like that.
Right.
But they're not to that point yet.
No. Budweiser. Why did I do that? I don't want
So
to do
Budweiser then is 5.
Budweiser's number 5.
Okay.
Budweiser stock car racing. See if this will tell me.
So Chevy doesn't sponsor any cars per se.
I didn't see him on the list. I got out of that list.
I'm just trying to think.
Former drivers for Budweiser. We're going old school here. Richie Panch, Glenn Jarrett, Bub Strickler, Terry Labonte, DW, Neil Bonnet, Jeff Bodine, Tommy Ellis, Bill Elliott, Kenny Schrader, Ricky Craven, Todd Bodine, Jack Sprague, Randy LaJoy.
There it is.
Wally Dallenbach Jr. ran it from 98-99. Dale Jr. ran it from 99 to 07. Kane, Eric Almirola. And then going into Xfinity Series, Dale Jarrett, Glenn Jarrett, Gary Neese, Jack Ingram, DW, Neil Bonnet. Skip a couple of these people. Morgan Shepherd, Joe Nemechek, Dale Jr. And then you go into, I won't even go to ARCA because this goes all the way down. Craftsman Trucks, Rick Hendrick, Roger Mears, Jack Sprague. Those are the 3 that ran it there. But yeah, there it
is, top 5.
That's your Budweiser, yeah.
It surprises me. But I've always was drawing to Dale Jr., so.
Right, well, that's what I was trying. I knew that, but also Harvick ran, Busch.
Yep. Well, him and, you have the list up still?
I can go back to it.
Where's McDonald's play?
McDonald's, that's a good question.
Because Bill Elliott ran that for a long time.
Correct.
And now we got Reddick. He's got a couple with it.
And so does Bubba.
and Bubba. Boble.
Somebody said that Bubba was complaining about the white flag, saying it was racist. I don't know if it's real or not. That's so silly.
What's the checker then? Interracial. What do we got there?
Oh, man. I thought I saw McDonald's on here. I'll just read them. So we got 5. We got 6 and 7 was SDP and Goodwrench. Perlator is 8. I don't even what is do you know what Perlator is?
Yeah, oil filters and
okay.
I think oil changing accessory type stuff.
Okay. Plymouth is number 9. FedEx at 10. Coors Light 11. Holly Farms 12. K&K Insurance, Valvoline, Home Depot, Pennzoil, M&M's, Haviline was 18. 19 Interstate, 20 is Gatorade, 21 Shell, 22 Coke, 23 Dodge. Mountain Dew was the other one I was going to give you, but I knew if I said Mountain Dew, you would be able to pick up on Junior.
Mm-hmm. What they'll call.
Junior did run Wrangler in the Xfinity Series, in Grand Nationals,
Okay.
Busch Series. It was probably Busch Series when he was in there.
Okay.
That was his daddy's sponsor for a while before he switched over to Goodwrench.
I see.
Mercury Outboards, Busch, Mobile One. Yeah, Busch has got 24. Mobile One, Office Depot, Kellogg's, Ogden, Tide, DeWalt, East Tennessee Motor Company. There's a Skull Bandit at 18. Bass Pro, DePaulo Engineering, Exide Batteries, Kodiak, Folgers, Kodak, and Napa. That stops at 42.
Wow. I need to tell Elliot to get on that Napa game, man. He should have more wins for them than that.
Mm-hmm. It's 14 wins.
He runs that car a lot.
He does. I like the fact that you still have Kodiak on here on this list, even though they're towards the bottom. Skull Bandit on the list, even though they're towards the bottom. They're not kicked off this list.
Yeah.
That's
because people, I think some of that has to do with drivers flip around sponsors so much anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
So to give you an idea, this person put, and this list was, some people were using it. He blended some of the essentially same sponsors into one. For example, Miller Lite, High Life, Miller America, Miller, and MGD were all counted as Miller Lite.
Right. Sometimes branding changes throughout years anyway, so.
But then why not merge Busch and Budweiser? Because they're the same.
Yeah.
They're owned by the same company. If you did that, that would put, let's see, Busch, 24. Budweiser is 64. That's 88.
Yeah.
That'd put them at number 1.
Yeah.
By 3 wins. Lowe's isn't coming back. DuPont. But then, are you going to argue and put Axalta with DuPont?
Right. Yeah,
where do you draw the line?
Gets kind of furry.
But like, how many people actually know that? You know what I mean? Who knows Axalta's owned by DuPont?
I know.
Well, we're pretty close to DuPont, so
we are really close.
Stone's throw away.
Yep.
I spent the night on the old Winneter estate one time.
Really? Did you accidentally and got stuck in there after it closed? Or
No.
They knew you were there?
My buddy's girlfriend worked for Winneter. He farms Winneter. Or I don't know if he still does. He was farming Winneter.
Okay.
And it was around my birthday in 2007, whenever I drove up. And we went over to, we stayed at her house. They gave her her old house. Like, it was right on the corner near the train tracks on the outside. But anyway. Yeah.
Stayed there. Done that.
Very interesting.
Put that on the resume.
Yeah, exactly. I stayed at Winneter. No, I did not get taken.
And you were invited.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't
That's a whole nother level.
Right.
That's funny.
So going back to where you were leaking into, TNT has announced their broadcast lineup for this coming up. I don't remember how many they have. Pre and post race shows will be Shannon Spake, Jamie McMurray, and Parker Kligerman. The main broadcasts are going to be Dale Jr., AA, as they like to call him, Adam Alexander, Steve Letarte, And then your pit reporters are Marty Snyder, Danielle Trotta, and Alan Cavana. What I think is going to be interesting, and this might be one of those things that they're going to try and catch up with. Prime is they're having an alternative broadcast on True TV. It's going to be Jeff Burton and Larry Mack.
Interesting.
So I don't know what, and so going on with that, the practice and qualifying is going to be on Max and True TV. So I like the stuff that Max is doing. I'm glad that they started off the season doing it. It saves when you have it in there as like let's say you have Max already. You're not paying extra for it like if you were to get the NASCAR app.
Right.
So I think that's nice.
Yeah, the marketing's interesting. How different brands are doing different things, and Prime obviously is the same way. You have to have Prime to get it. So it's interesting, these streaming platforms. It has crossed my mind, though, as we are approaching Pocono, how many people are going to be trying to be streaming the race on Sunday, because everyone has stream now.
It's true.
Because
heck yeah,
I streamed before because we had Hulu.
Right.
So my cable TV came through a Hulu app, streamed to my devices or whatever. Now everyone, you know what I mean? You're not just going to pick up, I guess everyone that was there is going to be streaming in some way, form, or another. So it's not going to be, I'm thinking about internet usage, like connectivity while we're at the track.
So Rebecca's dad streamed from YouTube TV while we were there.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any issues. He's got T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Now you have a little bit of a certain situation advantage than others. I just switched over with our carrier, we are in a super carrier, so I can swap between the big three. I just moved from AT&T to Verizon today. Okay. On my phone because they installed Verizon towers at the track.
Nice.
Like right near the entrance to in the middle of the track. I said it was an entrance into like where the haulers are and stuff. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that's going to happen. Yeah. Rebecca's parents are bringing their they have T-Mobile home internet. Okay. They're bringing that with them.
Nice.
So we'll see if I need to bust out the old Starlink or not. We'll have it in case we need it.
There we go.
But that's like $150.
Yeah. We don't have to spend.
Yeah. We can put towards.
Yeah, I just thought it just crossed my mind. It'd be interesting because how many people are going to trying to be streaming because they can now? Right. People that didn't have streaming capabilities before, that if you're watching Sundays right now, you have some form of streaming through Prime, and they're going to go, oh, we can watch it on our phones now, and everyone's going to be tapping in on Sundays, and then that's going to bring your data log just.
Well, that's a big thing because like we were trying, it just so happens that the system we got didn't work. We had a satellite dish we bought. I paid, I didn't pay a lot of money for it because I bought it on Marketplace. But I had satellite dish set up so we could watch it. Our neighbors, the ones that found the defect in the fence pole.
Yeah, right. The inside fence.
Yeah, they have a satellite dish. So my goal is I have like a 19 or 20 inch monitor, and I'm debating on hooking up a Roku to that to stream Prime, but then also piping out the audio to our big speaker that I normally just put the broadcast that gets on the radio. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's a good question. That's why I swapped to Verizon, because of the tower situation there.
Yeah. Better chance of having service.
Yeah, because we had T-Mobile last year when we were there, and we missed a text message, I think, from Rebecca's parents about the rain coming in. And we tried reaching out to them. We couldn't get to them. Yeah. Because of just the way the service was. So. Right. That's the downfall of when you have so many people there. And I talked to T-Mobile about it. And they said, oh, yeah, well, we know it's busy there, but we'll see what we can do about next year, adding it up, it didn't really help.
Yeah.
So, and you're out in the mountains. It's going to be tough anyway because of the service.
Right.
Sprint had some old temporary towers there, I think, for a while. So, I'm surprised Xfinity's not all over it with Xfinity free Wi-Fi.
Right. Put up a big router.
I mean, they force big router, big gigantic thing. I mean, they force everybody to say, "Oh, my car was fast as Xfinity Wi-Fi."
Yeah.
Well, then, whatever. So yeah, that's the big thing there. Also, speaking of schedule, Formula One came out with their schedule for 2026, and they just shot themselves in the foot with the American market and potentially the Canadian market. They actually moved, and they're going to take a lot of people off. Memorial Day weekend used to be like Christmas for the motorsport enthusiast.
Right. Triple Crown.
Not anymore. They moved Monaco to the first weekend in June, and they put the Canadian Grand Prix in the Memorial Day time slot. And
that's messed up.
That's during the day. That's going to fight right with the Indy 500.
Their viewership's going to drop.
Indy 500 is going to take it over. You're going to have a couple diehards that'll sit there and watch Formula One, but most people, I think, will want to watch the Indy 500 because it's the Indy 500.
Right.
Especially if you get an Indy 500 like we had this year, where it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So
interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm quite curious because of that. That was something that just popped up. Pretty interesting. Moving on, if you couldn't pick it up, we're going to Mexico. Well, we're not, but NASCAR's going to Mexico. Running the Cup Series is Catherine Legg, I think, is the big non-regular.
Okay.
She's running, and then now we have Ryan Truex. Ryan Truex, why are they there? Bums. For Jenny, we're watching the Stanley Cup Finals. It's tied 4-4, and they're showing Travis Kelce and T-Swizzle, and they should not be there. And why are they showing them on TV? Who really cares?
Not I.
Anyway, going back to this.
All in favor?
Hold on. It's done. Kick him out.
Get him out of there.
Yeah.
I got to make it call quick.
So, Ryan Truex is going to be running the 11. So, news broke out today, which of time of recording, which we record this usually Thursday into Friday morning.
Typically,
yeah. That I don't know her name. I know her first name. First name's Jordan. I don't know her last name because she's fiance with Denny. Had their son, so now they have 2 girls and a boy. And this is like straight up like soap opera type stuff, and I'm talking about just the whole relationship history, because they were together, had the 2 girls, then they like split up, then they got back together. It's just wild. Make for some good TV movie setup. So Ryan Truex will be running the 11. Going to Xfinity, we have Suarez is going to be running, Ty Gibbs, Seabell. Ty Gibbs is going to be running the 19. Seabell is going to be running the 26, I think it is. He's going to run for Jordan Anderson. Ruben Ravello, Thomas Annunziata.
I like it.
He drives Trans Am Series. That's what Google tells me. They're going to be making that start. The Googles. So that's big going into there. Jumping back with trucks, even though they're not going to be there. Ram was officially announced last Sunday as the next sponsor or manufacturer coming back to NASCAR. NASCAR is reporting talks from others still, so we'll see how that goes. Moving on, we'll skip over the odds and come back to that here shortly. But let's talk about weekend schedule, and then we'll bump into some of the challenges that they may face in Mexico. So we have the Mexico Series, practice and qualifying at 11 on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
These are all Eastern Standard Time. I don't think it's daylight time anymore. Practice Cup Series, practice number 1 at 1:05 on Prime. Xfinity's got their practice at 2:05 on CW app. Then Cup comes back out at 3 o'clock for practice. Then Xfinity Series back out. Practice number 2 at 3:30. So they're only giving them like 30 minutes. Well, the first practice looks like it's probably going to be 45 minutes. Second practice got to be 20 minutes. I mean, 3 and 3:30. Because you got to give time for the track to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, speaking of that, I just thought about that, track cleaning, bringing them jet dryers down?
Go down there.
Like, okay,
I
so
think everything's probably a mess.
So Toyota, they do the Tundras with the, what do they call that? They're not jet dryers. The track drying team.
Mm-hmm.
Those are going car haulers.
Yeah.
But they usually drive the jet dryers from tracks to tracks, Dover and so on.
I've actually seen one in transit.
Yeah, I've seen some dude just bebopping around.
I think it was Dover's.
Yeah. I've seen New Hampshire's too.
Yeah.
Anyway, sidetracked squirrel moment. The Mexico Series is going to be running the Ricardo Rodriguez 120. It's 50 laps at 4:30. That will be on YouTube. Moving into Saturday is our qualifying time for both Cup Series and Xfinity. 10:30 on CW for Cup Series. I think somebody messed this up. It's probably Prime, and then CW's got Xfinity qualifying at 12. Those times might be swapped. It's hard to tell. Whoever made this thing. Then we have the Pedro Rodriguez 120 for the Mexico Series. So this goes key into the name of the track. The track is Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in the city of Mexico, the Q Quad. I can't say that word, but that means city de Mexico. So it's in Mexico City. And it is two brothers, I believe they were, Ricardo and Pedro. That's why we have the Mexico Series race names there, if you were ever wondering.
I was not, but I know now.
The Chilango 150 is running on Xfinity.
Like
4:30 CW. And then we have the Viva Mexico 250, 100 laps, 3 o'clock.
Sunday.
On Sunday.
Be there, be square.
Big Hemi. Do you ever remember those Hemi racing commercials?
No.
They had, hey, is that thing got a Hemi? Sunday. Big racing, big Hemi racing.
I think I do remember that. Remember rolling down windows at like traffic lights going, that thing got a Hemi?
Yeah. So I got a map on here real quick. And challenges that we're going to be facing at the track. Elevation, number 1. Elevation is going to be a big issue that they're going to face because they're going to be higher, so you're going to have less power and all that. What I think is pretty cool is the second to last turns, probably the last two, turn, whatever it is. Anyway, they're actually going through the stadium. They're going through a stadium setup, which is pretty wild.
Nice.
So you could actually sit in like this huge like bowl setup, and they're going to run right through the middle of it.
That's cool.
I thought that was pretty cool looking at it. They have a stinking baseball field in the middle of this racetrack.
Yeah, I see that.
It's going to be interesting because the way they have their pit stalls set up, and I mean, it's on the long stretch, longest part of this, the furthest stretch of the track is where your pit and everything is. So we'll see what happens. Moving over to our Cup odds, our predictive winners for the Viva Mexico 250. And just a reminder, if it's a plus number, that's how much money you would win if you had a $100 bet. If it's negative, which I don't think we have any negatives in here. Yeah, we do. Top 10 finishes. That means you would have to bet that much money to win $100. So a good example, SVG is the favorite to win the race. If you bet $100, you'd get $300, making it a $400 return. If you bet him for top 10 finishes, he's negative 500, so you'd have to bet $500 to get $100. That makes sense.
Yep.
So we're looking at SVG, which he's ironically, I think he's going to be. He was my pick, is SVG, just because of he should know how to handle the car with the elevation changes. Seabell second, then Byron, Elliott, Larson, Reddick, and then top 10 finishers: Bell, SVG, Elliott, Busher, Larson, Reddick, and Byron. So I got to go SVG on this one.
Oof.
I'm pulling it.
I always go for the reaches, and I don't ever usually get close. And
to put it in perspective for everybody listening, if you don't recall, Michigan, I had picked RFK, and they didn't do anything. They teased, and Josh had some of the Hendrick
I did.
people, and they teased. So why not go big?
Yep. I'm going to go Tyler Reddick.
Okay. That's pretty solid for road racing and everything.
We'll see what happens.
And then let's we're gonna change our scenery here. Sponsored by Wailing Guitar. Our paint scheme pick. What is your favorite paint scheme pick?
Couple of really good ones. I think I know where you're going, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna go with Skull Candies on
Sugar
Skulls on Chris Buescher. I think that's a cool touch.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm going Frosty on number 1.
You got to. It's a cool
so
car.
cool. It's
if
like
you haven't
tie-dye.
seen it, go look for the
It's
number
tie-dye,
1 Ross
yeah.
Chastain car this weekend. It is very, very cool. So I left that alone because I knew where you were going.
Yeah. Well, if you would have picked that, I would have had to go with the 51 Aero.
The Cody Ware car is really cool looking. Nothing special geographically with being in Mexico or anything like that, but I mean, in terms of a car paint, it looks awesome. They got just a raw carbon fiber side skirt,
right?
The Rick Ware gold wheels,
right?
And what do you call it? Like a greenish tan parts of the arrowhead. It's cool looking.
So you have like a bronzy arrowhead look with that green, and the green sets off. It's almost like a Quaker. It's a slightly darker shade than Quaker State.
Yeah,
green, and it looks pretty good too.
But definitely check them out. Those are definitely our highlights. But couple other cool ones out there. There was an Xfinity car. Which one were we looking at?
I like the Allgaier because of the tequila connection. There is a Mexico car. One of the guys, non-regular, he's going to be running a Mexican sponsor.
Okay.
It's the Mexican wireless provider for them. There was another one that stuck out. I know you mentioned Josh Williams with the American.
Yeah. American flag and the eagle.
Sheldon Creed's was pretty decent. I think they're all fairly good.
A silver medal on it for getting second place constantly, or
well, and then I heard something that, Ty Dillon and Kyle Busch weren't going to have like their sponsors because they're nicotine sponsors, or like Busch isn't there because
they don't sell in that market or something like that.
Well, I don't think it's that. I don't think they're allowed to have those kind of sponsors down there.
Might not come back home.
Yeah. So that wraps it up pretty much for this podcast. We will be at Pocono.
Yep.
Recording there. If you are going to Pocono, come check us out in turn 1. You'll see us there in the big setup for our whatever you want to call it, our competition that we're having. We're not giving it away because I did give it away and then I had to delete the post. So I got yelled at.
Too many copycats.
Probably. Well, I got sick. somebody was complaining like, "Oh, we're doing this one," and I was like, "Well, we're doing X because this is where we live." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" And then Rebecca comes in. Why did you just give it away? This is a competition. I'm like, okay,
Gotta stay
I'm sorry.
competitive.
And when you marry competitiveness, it's there.
You leave it to them.
And then the kids are pretty competitive too.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be we have some stuff lined up to do.
Getting the campers ready.
Campers are getting
I don't
ready.
own a camper, but we managed to find someone who does own a camper every year.
And it's not me.
And we're not staying with Jordan. We're gonna stay across the street. We're just gonna stay neighbors.
Across the street. Across the grass.
Across the
path.
driveway, wave, out doing the lawn, gonna wave,
Yeah, right.
the whole normal neighborly thing.
I ran the generator
Have a picnic
again.
or two
Picnic or two, yeah.
together.
Ran the generator again. I gotta get fuel. I gotta dump. Got a 2.5 gallon thing. I gotta dump and fill that back up. So I have my 20-some gallons of fuel that I only run about 18. Especially with the temperature supposed to be mild.
Got them dialed in.
So it's supposed to be like in the 50s at night.
Nice.
High 50s and then mid to high 70s.
Gonna crack them windows open at night to hear the sound of a sea of generators.
Yeah, right.
If you've never been modern day camping, just go start a bunch of generators at the Home Depot, and that's what it sounds like.
Pretty much. Because these guys, oh my gosh, these guys are running these generators I saw somebody talking about it running.
Quiet's expensive, so just send it.
How much? They're like, how much fuel do I need to bring? I just bought a Predator generator from Harbor Freight, and how much? And somebody's
All
like, yeah,
the fuel.
Somebody's like, I run 24 gallons consistently, 24/7. And we're like, do you not realize that you have a battery on your camper, and it'll keep your 12-volt one done? And if you have a propane fridge too, you're fine there as well.
Yeah. I need a full propane camper if I ever get one.
That would be pretty cool. Run everything on it.
You can.
I mean, yeah, but it would be.
Or at least just a propane generator.
Yeah, you see those mostly.
I'll carry
on
a big boy tank, so I got my hazmat, so I'll just carry a tank that I can last like a week on.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to run through the Lehigh Tunnel, though.
I'll go around. I'm used to going around. I'll go up to Tamaqua, 309.
Oh, my gosh.
That's where I got to go up when I go to Hazleton, so I'm used to that run.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you're right.
I'm used to having more horsepower, though.
Yeah.
The power per weight ratio is better with the big truck, but it's going to be fun, no matter what.
Yes, it will. We
Camp it on crack.
Camp it on crack. So, yeah, we'll see you guys there. Come by, stop by.
Yep.
If
check
not,
the Facebooks.
Yeah, if not, check the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, and you can just wish you were hanging out with us.
Yeah, and we'll see you there next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Catch you next week.
Yeah,
live and local.
Live and local. We'll try to go live too.
We'll
All
see.
Right, see you guys
Later.